Mobile One.
So here's another example of going off of stock or away from stock, you know, just kind of randomly and not being careful. This has a belt issue. See the edge of the belt's all torn off. And this was caused to a alignment problem. In fact, when you look down the belt, you can see how it's been stressed so hard that it's just kind of all over the place. Where this happened was at the power steering pump. The power steering pump is this one right here, and it's attached by these bolts, the top one, bottom one, but then it's also secured and squared up by the bracket from the alternator. The alternator is actually sandwiched in this bracket that goes over to the engine block. So when you look at it now, everything's lined up, but the bottom part of this was kicked way out this way, and it's because there's a spacer that goes in with this stud. You can see where it's all chewed up right here and then square there. Let me show you the little sleeve that I pulled out. It's straight now with just these two bolts in it, but that's not enough to secure to really hold it. So this is what was in there. This is what I found. You can see the bottom part here is square and the top's all kind of jagged. We can further verify this with the micrometer. If I mic it from this side, I get 25.7 millimeters. And when I mic it from this side, I get it 24.8. But the actual gap is somewhere around 23 millimeters. So I'm going to cut this down to 24.8, 24.9, and then just fine tune it. But basically this thing was pushing that out. So you got the two bolts that hold it here. Say this is the face of it, you know, for straightness. You got two bolts holding it here, and then this bracket or this spacer on the back was basically kicking it way over. So you had a really crooked pulley. Put a lot of stress on those bolts and the bracket as well. Whenever you change from factory to something else, you got to make sure that you're doing it good or doing it right, or you're going to have a headache. Because this had poor fitment to it, the belt would squeak really loudly, you know, especially on startup in the morning. But it's also just chewing the crap out of the belt, just blowing through belts too. So I've ground it down, and now I've got it to, my goal was to put it at about 24.6. I'm at about 24.6 most everywhere around. Some of it's down to 24.4. But let's go see if this fits in the car. So when I take this and try to put it in the gap, it's too tight. So what I want to do is I want to slide it. Say this is one limit and it's not going in. I slide it until it fits and go up on the other side and just see how far I have to move before it will fit. Like I say, I mic this at like 23.6 at an angle, so it's going to be less than 23.6. I'm guessing 23. But with that straight, if you do anything that's bigger or greater than 23.6, it's going to push it and make the whole thing crooked. You want it to just barely fit in there perfectly and snug down for just bracing, not to move it. So I'm using some really high-tech stuff here. Not really. I look down at the gap between this and the wheel, the grinding wheel. Try to keep it moving. I just try to always keep it on the high spot and cut it down. Now we're at 24.3, 24.4, 24.3. Well, we got a ways to go. Yeah, it's too hot to hold again, so I'll just do this. Roll it around there, shoot it down through the middle. The lowest spot's 23.6. Let's see if I can get everything to match that. You may be wondering if the camera's moving or if it's this. It's actually this. I've actually got bolts that plug into the table, but they're not secured. That way I can clear this off the bench and use this corner, because the corner of the bench is really valuable real estate. You can hang it out in space. But anyway, you do get a little creep on it. Okay, check my zero. I've got all this grit I've got to clear off. Tell you what, it's so much better if you keep everything clean. 2310. 2310 is the lowest, 2307, 2312, 2315, 11, 23.5, 22.98. How'd that happen? I better check and see if this will fit in there. You'll just have to take my word for it if it fits or not. Oh, that slides in perfect. It just sits in there by itself. That's it, right? Gosh dang it, I need a flashlight. I got my snap-on light. There we go. Snap-on light always works. Actually looks nice too. So that fits in there perfectly. It fits with just the grit and the dirt that's on it. So that will work. That's satisfactory. And it's much, much more consistent. It's not like a whole millimeter off or whatever it was. So we'll throw that in there and be done.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.
I'd like to take the opportunity once again to wish everybody a really Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This week was a little crazy, so this video I didn't get to finish it and show the belt running properly, but of course it did. Thought this would be a fun video to share anyway, because it shows diagnosing things isn't always what you think it's going to be. Sometimes it's something that somebody else did, and also some good things from using a micrometer. So anyway, you can click on to another video if you like, or go spend time with your families. That's a good idea too. Cheers.